You ever wonder why you keep having the same fights in your relationships? Or, why you seem to be drawn to the same kind of person over and over, even when it doesn't work out? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden patterns that are running our love lives, patterns that were set in stone long before we ever went on our first date.
Okay, so imagine your childhood home was a construction site, and every little interaction, every lesson, every unspoken rule, it was like a line drawn on a blueprint. That exact blueprint, created all those years ago, is still the one you're using to build your adult relationships. And the crazy part? Most of us don't even realize it. So, does that sound familiar at all? That little nagging feeling of déjà vu in your love life? If you've ever felt totally stuck in a relationship loop, believe me, you are not alone. And the reason for it isn't bad luck. It's that blueprint we were just talking about. And this, right here, is the heart of it all. Those relationship cycles, they are not a coincidence. They're basically echoes from our past. It's like we're running relationship software that was coded for us when we were kids, and it's just been running on default ever since.
And there's actually a name for this. Family counselors Milan and Kay Yurkovich call it our love style. You can think of it as your relationship personality. It's the unique way you react and respond to your partner, and it's all shaped by your upbringing. It's not about being a good or bad partner, it's just the style you learned.
So, what the Yurkoviches figured out is that most of us are operating from one of 5 main blueprints. And figuring out which one is yours, that's like finding the missing piece of the puzzle for all your relationships. So, you ready to see which one fits you?
All right, let's start by looking at 2 styles that are often rooted in trying to manage some pretty difficult home environments. We've got the pleaser and the victim. Let's dig into how they develop.
What's so interesting here is this total role reversal. As a kid, the pleaser basically became the emotional caretaker for a parent. Instead of being comforted, they learned how to give comfort. And that skill, it becomes a reflex in adulthood. It makes them experts at sensing moods, dodging conflict, and just saying yes to keep things calm, even when it's totally hurting them. So, for a pleaser, the path to a healthier relationship isn't about trying to be everything to everyone. It's really about finding the courage to be honest about their own needs and feelings. It's a huge shift from looking for approval to actually looking for a real, authentic connection. And that's where true intimacy is found. Now, for the victim, the blueprint was all about survival. Pure and simple. In a really chaotic home, they learn to become invisible just to stay safe. As an adult, this translates into low self-esteem and this really strange relationship with peace. Calm can actually feel unsettling, kind of like the quiet before a storm. And this can lead them to unconsciously seek out that familiar chaos from their past. The way forward for the victim is all about reclaiming their voice. It means building up their self-worth from the ground up and learning that they absolutely deserve stability and peace. And once they learn to stand up for themselves, they stop attracting partners who want to control them and start building relationships based on mutual respect. Okay, now let's explore 3 more of these blueprints. We're about to meet the controller, who's always seeking power, the vacillator, who's on a constant emotional roller coaster, and the avoider, who builds walls to feel safe. Let's see what makes them tick. With the controller, their blueprint is built on a foundation of feeling unsafe. They basically had to become their own protector. So as an adult, control equals safety. Vulnerability, that feels like a major threat. So they manage everything and everyone around them, sometimes even using anger to keep that sense of control and feel secure. For the controller, growth means facing their absolute biggest fear, vulnerability. It's all about understanding that real strength is found in the ability to let go and actually trust another person. And this doesn't just transform their romantic relationships, it allows them to find an inner peace they've probably rarely ever experienced. Remember that emotional roller coaster? Yeah, the vacillator lived it as a child. With affection from a parent being so inconsistent, they developed this deep, deep fear of being left behind. So now they're searching for that perfect, unwavering love. They put new partners on a pedestal, but when reality doesn't match that fantasy, the disappointment is absolutely crushing. And that's what creates that intense push and pull. The key for the vacillator is simple. They gotta learn to pump the brakes. They need to learn how to manage their own expectations and just give relationships time to develop naturally. By getting to know someone slowly, they can build a foundation that's based on reality and trust, not just the idealized love they've always been craving. And finally, we've got the avoider. Their childhood motto was pretty much figure it out yourself. In a home where independence was everything, emotions were often just ignored. So as adults, they're masters of self-reliance, but feelings, whoa, that is uncomfortable territory. They much prefer logic, facts, and plenty of personal space to get through life. So for the avoider, the path forward is a journey right into the very thing they tend to run from, emotion. To build a healthy, lasting relationship, they have to learn to connect with their own feelings and then express them openly. It's that vulnerability that allows for the deep, intimate connection they actually secretly want but often push away. So after exploring these 5 blueprints, you might be sitting there thinking, okay, what now? Well, the most important thing to take away from all this is that just understanding your style is the first giant step toward building something new and healthier. Nobody is stuck with their original blueprint. And this right here, it perfectly summarizes the journey for each style. It's about the pleaser finding their voice, the victim finding their strength, the controller learning how to let go, the vacillator finding balance, and the avoider opening their heart. Each path is different, but you know what? They all lead to the exact same destination: healthier, more fulfilling connections. So what's the big takeaway here? Your blueprint is not your destiny. It's just the starting point. Knowing your love style gives you the power to become the architect of your own relationships. You're the one holding the pen now. So the real question is, what new blueprint are you going to draw for your future?